Hey.
Look at everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. We're here.
Yeah. I feel like
we're all here in this space together.
Cheers, y'all.
oh, what you
Cheers.
drink?
Let me grab my
Some sparkling grapefruit water.
I have a Dandy Blend oat milk latte.
Ooh.
Sounds delicious. As usual.
I know, right?
Yes.
As usual.
Sleeping on
Sounds
Dandy
delicious.
Blend. I was sleeping on
I
it.
do enjoy that.
I hope
tried
you
to
add
find
a cocktail version to like one of your books. Just a cocktail little section.
some bourbon in this would be on it, but like, you know, trying to be right. Like living in New Orleans, it's a balance. Like you could end up really, you could feasibly drink
Oh, I bet.
an occasion. So I'm like detoxing from coffee and like, you know, only really going out and drinking like once a week, sometimes twice.
That's all right. That's the place to do it.
Hey everybody.
Peace, everyone. Go ahead and share this live and then come back in and hold the space. Thank you all for being with us. Feel free to comment throughout. We'll go ahead and get to your comments, your questions, the love. This space is all about wellness. So we talk about all things in all capacities. We are all wellness practitioners in some way, in different ways. And so we just like to get on here and check in with one another and share our stories. The tea is about all the business, all the things. The bourbon is about the fun and the self-care and the spirits and all the other things that come into the practice. So we're just going to check in. Lucretia talked about her wonderful, like my stomach just felt all stewed when you said that oat milk. Like
I made an oat milk intervention. I've never drank a milk product or alternative milk product so much in my life, and I seriously am addicted to oat milk. I have I could go through 2 cartons in a week and a half.
Ooh wee! I don't know if I like oat milk, but it's like so heavy. It's so heavy. Like, I mean, I guess thick. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's just like, it's not my usual. I prefer like either the coconut or soy milk.
I'm addicted. It's bad. I'm Lucretia, and I am addicted to oat milk.
Not a bad thing to be addicted to.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing to be addicted to.
Right. All right, y'all. If y'all, this is your first time in the space, go ahead and throw them teacups up. If you join us weekly or you've been here before, go ahead and throw the bourbon in. You can throw some water in there too. If it's all good, you know.
Yeah. Whatever you feel. Does anybody else's Tuesday feel like Thursday?
It definitely feels like Thursday.
Yeah. Today feels like my Friday for sure.
It definitely feels like that.
Yeah, because I slacked all day, y'all. Like, slacked all day. We get into that, but yeah. I just be having them ways. I'm just random, y'all. I'm just random. So, what y'all drinking on today? Erica Joy?
You know that I'm here with water.
It's a good place to be.
I'm here with water.
I'm right behind you. I got grapefruit sparkling water.
Joy, you didn't come with the drink today?
Not today, man. I forgot to get like regular tonic water, and then I'm out of beer because yesterday I wrapped up my first year in my doctoral program. So today is the day to celebrate.
What?
Girl,
congratulations. Thank you.
Yes.
So right after this, I'm going out to get a beer.
Yes. Beautiful.
So what does that mean for you now? You get to take a break from acupuncture school and all
barely, because I have another board exam coming up in like 2 weeks, and then I will have like a little bit of time off from my actual program, but then I'm a TA, and then my program kicks back in at the end of August. So for the final year. So it's like just been my kidneys. Oh, my kidneys. Like,
how do you do balance and all that? Like keeping yourself healthy, having like a social
Good
life,
question.
shoo.
and then you got to make money, like in the middle of it at the same time.
Exactly. Those things have been like coming into balance, like trying to get my money up, trying to learn more actually about like stocks and crypto. Occasionally I'll do like my side hustle is either flipping furniture, like I do like mid-century modern furniture stuff, like I've been collecting, and then I'll sell it. And then sometimes I'll do like food delivery stuff. Gosh, I started picking up running again, so I run every day. So it was like a toss up between like, go out and get yourself a drink, girl, or go running. And so today's drinking. I'm going to celebrate this. And my social life is like really kind of this. I mean, it has been for a while, because it's just, you know, I know where my focus is, and I don't feel guilty about that kind of focus, because I know like some days I just like lay out and post up and like, you know, watch a television show or take a 3 o'clock nap for 3 hours, you know, it just depends. But most of the time it's like stuff that I love. I feel passionate about the things that I'm learning and sharing. So yeah, feels like a balance.
How do you nourish your kidneys? Because you talked about, oh, my kidneys. What kind of program are you on for that? Because I constantly have a problem. I used to use so much ibuprofen, like in my younger days. So like, I'm always about like, how do I nourish the kidneys?
Yeah. Yep. Well, sometimes, usually at night, I'll do my qigong routine, and if you hit, like like where your kidneys are located, you can kind of feel them, even like when your back is kind of sore. And I'll put my, fists in a ball, and I'll tap them 39 times. And you start with your left, and sometimes you can even like click your teeth, because that signals the kidney channel, because the kidneys and the bones are associated together. So I'll do that, and that actually feels like refreshing. In terms of like herbs and things, honestly, like those things like ashwagandha, stuff like that actually is like really helpful to me, because it kind of lowers like my cortisol, and gives my kidneys and my adrenals a little bit of a break. And then just knowing when to rest and knowing when to have fucking fun too.
Yeah.
Like, that part. Give those kidneys a break. Give them a break. Yeah. Because the kidneys filter like anxiety and fear and like really like restrictive emotions. So when we are in that heightened state of stress, especially, the kidneys are trying to filter all of that. So taking that break and resting and doing all those things to balance is beautiful. All those practices. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. That's amazing.
I'd be so proud. I'm like, acupuncturists, I feel like they're so super smart. I'm like, oh my God.
Thank you. Well, that is something that I should do. I should like needle myself more, but I honestly have just been like needling my knees for running, because I was like, it doesn't, everything else feels fine. But I'll keep needling my knees so I can keep running.
Right. Hit my forehead up. Just like hit this whole thing up. So bring some needles when you're coming down. I need this, like back here, just a little bit.
Do you have a like a gua sha tool too?
I do. I have 4 of them.
Oh, are you using them? Do you do like essential oil or not essential oil?
She's like, I have them, I don't use them.
This is the problem with me. I was an esthetician for like forever, for 20-something years. I'm not a great esthetician to myself, because I'm like, oh my God, with the gua sha tool. So it's like, I can't resist myself, because I seriously want to iron the whole thing out in one session. I know better. Like, I know better, but I have like jack myself up like a couple times. Like, you hit those ages, it's like 40, they were not lying, like everything starts to look different. And I was like, now I'm 45 and like losing weight, my face is changing, and like so many different things. And so I'm like, I know the gua sha tool, get the big one, but I'm like, it's my face, and you should see what I do to my body. I'm like, I learned in Asia, so they take no mercy. Like, so I
no doubt.
down
Yep.
Wow.
and like grease my face up. So yeah, I'll take out the tool.
I just did my microderm abrasion yesterday, and I was thinking about you, Joy, because I like scratched up my nose, but
She did such a number on my nose, but
I know,
whatever.
but yeah, because
It's all
that's the
good.
sensitive area. But yeah, I'm with you, like getting those tools out when we have practiced those things and for so long, especially when we actually our service to others,
Yeah.
get them out and taken care of. But that's been definitely my main focus, like the last year since I've seen like my body, getting close to 40, and it's like, okay, I got to pay more attention to certain things. So like yesterday, like I was like, oh, I haven't done a yoni steam in a while, so I'm gonna just pull out my steam so I can like see it sitting there so I can get to it. Because otherwise,
You're not
I
gonna do
just
it.
won't do it. Yeah, it'll just be packed away somewhere, and I won't do it. So I actually have to consciously like put it on my calendar, give myself some self-care days, set some time aside, and set it out in front of me so it's looking at me every day till I do it.
Facts.
I have started my facial yoga routine, so like I'm pretty excited about that. Like actually moving and yawning and dropping. So I've started all that for like, because all these Zooms and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm just
What
like,
do you feel? Do you feel like you look different? Is that what you're saying? Like,
oh yeah, I mean my whole face, not my whole face, I don't look like incredibly different, but I think I was so hyper focused in my mid-20s to like my mid-30s, in the aesthetics world, and like did all the things that to my face. I worked medical for 5 years, so I had like Botox.
Oh gosh.
I had no freckles. It was like I really drank the Kool-Aid, so I was like hyper focused, and then I got really spiritual, and I wasn't as hyper focused, and then it was like things caught up. So I noticed a definite difference, and like hydration is the biggest thing, like internal and external. Like just today, like if I just use my skincare products, I see a difference.
yeah.
So today I just did this like aloe juice mask. I just kept putting it on my face, and I was like, I feel like it's tighter. Things don't look as like the way that they do, and I'm like, water, it really is the fountain.
Absolutely, getting that water increase.
Yep.
In the body, on the body, moisturize. That's been a big thing too, of like realizing that that's part of it, of taking care of that, external organ, making sure you got all the good oils. I just ordered an expensive like emu for everybody that's against the animal products, but I mean, we drink goat's milk and all that other stuff, so or whatever. But using certain things to really help the skin and hydrate the skin. Yeah, so I've been like just paying more attention to that stuff and taking more care of that part. I mean, it was a part of my life where it was just like, oh, okay, like you would just ignore that, ignore the washing and the moisturizing and the
I do those parts. I just like pulled out, and I haven't been able to make products in a while. So I do a hemp infused olive oil, and then I have a triple oil that I do with comfrey, plantain, rose.
Ooh, that is what I need for this scar, this comfrey. That's what I need for this I have this like little scar. It's like the very first time that I ever got a facial. I'd never done one. And the microderm thing, like, I guess pulled too hard and I got a little scar. And someone mentioned comfrey.
Or even magnesium, just getting some magnesium. I know I use magnesium and rose oil blend on my skin.
Okay.
On my face. Yeah, and the rose soap.
I'm telling you, talking to y'all keeps me like in check, because on half the time when I'm not talking to y'all, I'm running myself to the ground. Every time I come on here, I'm like, ooh, hemp what? Infused with what? Let me go out and get some of that this weekend. I know what I'm doing bad. Like, listen.
Erica, remind me. Oh, sorry. When is your birthday? What's your sign?
Y'all keep me in check. I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, you're a Scorpio. Okay.
Yeah.
Scorpio, Gemini.
I love watching all your videos getting ready though, Erica, like getting on your game. I was like, I am not doing enough. Like you have like a whole set crew, and I was like, front. You look like fabulous and tight, and like you're ready to like do the thing for the video. And like, really, how long does it take you from setup to breakdown for how many minutes of video?
Okay, so like I'm editing something right now, and it's about 9 minutes of content, and I believe it takes me like, I'll say it takes me about like, on bad days, like when I don't have a script or anything, it'll take me about an hour and a half to get that stuff out, because you're fumbling over your words. You want to make sure that you're getting everything out, just like the same way that you guys would do any talk or anything like that. It's the same type of thing. You know, I have to prepare way ahead of time in order for me to do that and be able to push that stuff out. And now I'm trying to like push out even more content. So planning like a month's worth of content within like a week's time, you know, literally having to write all that stuff out. So just going back to some of the things that Joy has talked about before with us here on live, it's like having your rituals, really and truly. Like, I feel like I'm having, like, with work, I have really good rituals. I wake up every morning, drink my tea, you know, like set up my computer, talk to my clients. It's just balancing with your mental capacity at the same time, being able to give yourself to your work and then also give yourself to yourself. Like, to be able to just balance, and it's difficult. It's definitely it's not difficult, it's possible, but it is definitely a learning curve.
Yeah, because I often see like people who create so much content, and you're working and then you're filming and you're doing all these things at the same time, and do you just get inspired like once at a, you know, and just bang out, I'm going to do like 5 videos about these subjects? And
yeah, really and truly, that's what it's, sorry, that's, I'm like getting text messages, but that's really what it is at the same time, where it's like, I will, like, if I were, you know, talking to you guys about something, I'll write down every single idea that I have and then plan around all of that stuff. Like, how can I showcase my work in multiple different ways so that I'm creating as much content as possible? So I think it really relates to some of the work that we have done in the healing space and like how we work with our clients, but then doing it for ourselves.
Yes.
You know,
that's the hard part.
doing it for ourselves while our bodies are changing and our family is changing, and you know, I'm at the point where it's like, you know, keeping yourself healthy to possibly start a family. So it's just like, it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Prioritizing those values in different stages of life. Like we talked about that. Like, what is most important for you right now? You know, it's you know, figuring out that balance between your work being successful and abundant, and also like taking care of yourself, because you're at this phase of wanting to hold a life, you know, and do different things. And so, yeah, we have to really think about that, constantly reevaluate. You know, I tell people, you know, especially my clients, you know, not just like on your birthday thinking about like, oh, I'm a year older and all these different things. That's why we talk about the moon cycles. That's why we talk about the planetary alignments, because it's important for you to constantly reflect and think about, okay, where am I in relation to what I truly want?
Yeah.
Am I in alignment? Is all this work and hustle and bustle that I'm doing really what I'm doing right now? Is this in alignment with me, you know, whatever, you know, raising a family or whatever it is? And just reevaluating those things and reflecting on them constantly is very important.
Yeah. So that's why I said being with you guys and making sure that I'm listening to the decadence, listening to all of the indulgence. I'm like, all right, I know what I need to do. So giving myself time for both.
The cautionary tale of wear your sunscreen.
Oh, yes.
What are some natural sunscreens?
Well, olive oils have certain SPFs in them.
Right.
You know, different levels of them that you can use that's natural. I actually have been working with, you know, when you take St. John's wort, like internally, it makes you sun sensitive. But when you use the oil externally, it really helps as sunscreen, protect and also with sunburn, because I was at the Gullah Geechee and I had been outside a Geechee Gullah herbal conference, and I had been outside in a long time, and I got, of course, with my high yellow self, got sunburn, and so I was just like, everybody kept going, "You're gonna burn." I was like, "No, internal makes you sun sensitive. External." People were arguing with me. I was like, "I've been in skin for 20-something years. Like, what are you trying to say to me?" So that's one of my favorites, and like hemp and things like that. And I've been investigating. I'm really into physical blocks, like the titanium, which is not natural, but like there are some like really great sensitive like baby sunscreens, like for baby, and they have more of the white in them. So when I'm like out in high sun, I do mix those with like a little bit of tinted moisturizer. But I don't care. I'll paint myself white. My sister, I think she's on here too, watching. She gets so embarrassed when she goes to the beach with me, because you look at her and I'm like, ghost white, like this with sunglasses. And like all my tattoos have white all over them. It's hilarious. So those are some of the things I do. Coconut oil's good. It's not strong enough. It's just reapplying, which people don't really realize. Even if you get the real high, SPF factors, which are not good. I don't suggest over a 50. That gets way too chemical. Nothing with nanoparticles, because your sunscreen does not need to get in your bloodstream at all. And it's just reapplying, like making sure it's next to you when you're outside a lot, and just keep reapplying. It's starting to get super hot down here, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Reapplying. I keep one in my car and one in my bike. So even if I'm driving, which I don't drive that much, so that's some of the big sun tips for this year.
What's some other tips that we can give going into this season? Talking about for the body and also for the spirit. I guess we talk about like different cycles in our lives and really reflecting. What's some things you all been reflecting on, especially during this Mercury retrograde season?
Letting go of old relationships. Like, just letting go. Like keep letting go of old narratives and working with that through the retrograde and revisiting my thoughts.
Here's something. Sorry, there's like, it's like a lag.
Go ahead, love.
Which one?
Joy.
Me. Here's something that I've been thinking about recently. I have, it's not necessarily letting go of, say, like karma or karmic relations or whatever, but it's more along the lines of letting go of manifestation. Like I have really come to this season in more of surrender than I have like, oh, I need to purge this. I need to get rid of this. I need to work on this block. I need to integrate this part of my shadow self. It's like, even like manifestation rituals, it's like, I've already done, not to say that like there isn't more like self-love and homework to do, but there's this time and this season right now where there are so many planets that are in retrograde, and this eclipse is coming up in literally 2 days. And so like it's a really big time, and I think there are certain signs or like placements in your houses that are going to feel this a little bit more, specifically if you have any Gemini in your chart at all. Scorpio too will also have like a lot of big movements, or you'll probably feel it like energetically or mentally and maybe even physically. But yeah, I think just in terms of letting go of the expectations that I have around manifesting anything, like I've planted those seeds prior to these bigger astrological events, and so now I get to kind of watch them unfold while I'm also still continuing to do my work.
Yeah. Being in the receiving mode that I've been talking about all year, right? Just being able to just trust that all of the work that you have done up until this point has aligned you with the seasons, with the planetary alignments, and then, everything will start to download. Everything will start to just fill up your cup the way that you already, you know, put those affirmations out there. And so even in the midst of, like, we talked about how, you know, we can get, or some people can get caught up in the framework around just manifest your reality, right, and not really paying attention to the reality of the situation. And so understanding that these planets also teach us, especially like Saturn teaches us our limitations. And, you know, some of us, you know, especially those, now it's this whole trend around this, you know, entrepreneurship, hustle bustle, you know, I'm going to make it overnight. And you're not thinking about all of these things that have to fall into place in order for it to happen. And so now you're
definitely not overnight
situations. You're forcing yourself into these hyperactivity, hyperactive modes, and not really paying attention to the limitations of the right now. And yes, we have to recognize that we have limitations. Like, we have knowledge limitations, we have skill limitations, we have energy limitations, we have, you know, all of these things that we have to honor, because yes, we are spiritual beings, but we are also in this very limited form. And so we have to honor that as a part of our journey. And still, yes, trust that my highest vision is going to come to fruition, but in pieces. Because imagine, like, we have solar flares. So we have the solar eclipse coming up, and then we have solar flares coming right after that. And we have like 2 other big solar like situations. So solar energy is really high heat, right? Really high heat, really just like intense downloads that is going to be happening. So if you are functioning in hyperactivity during this time, you're going to burn the fuck out real quick.
True.
Really want to slow down, especially in this season, because it's happening during the Gemini, during the Cancer season, during the summer solstice. We have to really just protect ourselves, put that sunscreen on in all ways, physical, spiritual, mental, and chill the fuck out, because this is where I'm seeing it. Like, I'm seeing people drop off this earth because they are over activating themselves and getting into this mentality around, like, oh, you know, it's grind, I gotta make it, and not paying attention to what's actually happening that can position you just as fine if you just slow down and allow those downloads to happen for you.
Oh yeah, those solar flares, when they come, they do. Like, my energetic body feels them so much that's when I get laid out. Remember, was it last week or the week before, when I was just like in nap mode, and then you beamed me in, and I was like, yo, I don't know where I am, but I need to lie down. Oh, and so I wanted to, I pulled some cards because Michelle and Charles from Third Eye Bag bookstore out in Portland, they're on here. I bought these from them.
They're beautiful.
They're awesome. They are Will Manifesting Fertility Goddess Affirmation cards by Abiola Abrams. And the one that I pulled was Sky Woman, Freedom. It means nurturing. And the affirmation is, I easily give birth to my miracles, magic, and mojo. I am free.
That's a good one.
I love that one.
Right?
Can you put that in our group chat?
Yes.
How do I do it? Wait a minute. How do I do it? Can I? Oh, the group chat.
Yeah.
I thought I was. Can you not upload? No, I guess not up here. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Yeah, you can send it to me and I can like repost it for, you know, throughout the week. We're going to start really doing that.
I know freedom is my mantra. It's like, I want to be free in all ways, like spiritually free, like free from that hustle mentality. I just want to align, just free. I keep saying it. I was like, I'm free. It's like, I feel like Amistad or something like that.
I literally said that today, Lucretia, because I swear that's my constant obsession, is around like this financial abundance. And not because I don't have it, it's because I'm just obsessed over it. Like, I'm obsessed with like this. I get caught up in that whole like, oh, it has to look this way. And like literally today I was like, I wonder if abundance just is like, looks like freedom. Like, like, it's just freedom. Like, I wonder. So I'm going to start affirming freedom in my finances and see what happens then. And then letting go the manifestation part of it, Joy, what you're saying, just letting go of that part. Because it's happening. It's just like,
Right.
When you get caught up into the details of things that you have no idea, you can write down all the things, you can write down all the scripts, all the affirmations, but you have no idea how that thing is going to actually work out. So
Right.
putting it out there and allowing it to universe to do its thing, work the details out.
I finally feel like when I get into the feeling of something, it manifests.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like I have to just feel it and I fire off. Like I've been feeling that Chanel pearl necklace like at this vintage store, like for my next so goal. I was like, I feel her.
Yes.
I can't.
Y'all,
I should have known it was gonna be something. I should have known. I should have known. I was sitting there holding on. I'm like, what is she about to say? What is she about to say?
Like,
not yummy. Vintage Chanel.
Something yummy, yo. Something so yummy.
Gosh.
I swear that feeling, that's one of the things that I tell my clients a lot is like, forget all the words, forget all the stuff in the mind for a moment and feel it. Like, what does it feel like to be, you know, successful? What does that even look like? What does that feel like to be free? What does that feel like to have a beautiful, loving relationship? You know, and that feeling, you could like your body and like, you could just feel like this rise, you know, this union of like the mind, body, and spirit, like be like, yes, yeah. It. Okay, and the universe can go, yep, I got it. All right, let's do it.
So for people who are here who maybe don't know what those feelings are, because I feel like we've all been in that space before where we like have no idea what that feeling is like. Yeah. I have you know what I'm saying? Like I have no idea what it feels like to be X, Y, and Z because I've been planted in this space and my body is used to regurgitating the feelings of trauma. How do people manifest those feelings within their body from that space?
The one thing that I suggest, because that is very true, because I noticed that a lot of more of my clients, we have to go and re-educate around feeling words because they'll go, I feel like they, or I feel like them, or I feel like it's, and not really going into the actual emotion and the feeling of it. I feel anxiety. I feel elated. I feel happy. I feel relieved. I feel this. So I get a list of feeling words and both, you know, those negative feelings and those positive feelings. And and as we're going through the sessions, I'm like, okay, what does that feel like in your body when you say he irritates me? You know, what does that feel like in your body when you say, when you think about this experience of like having this house? What does that feel like in your body? Do you feel like, you know, happy? Does your heart flutter? Also associating with the things that's happening in the body. You know, do you feel heavy? You know, do you feel drained of energy? So it's going back to the basics of, you know, educating them around just the simple like emotions, the feelings, you know, to match that. What about you all?
In terms of like trying to hop out of a cycle, you mean? Like that's really difficult work. And I mean, even to this day, I think like I have good days and I have bad days, you know? So like I'm not, I think I'm realistic with my expectations about, you know, I can see the timeline, right? Of like where I was at the time of versus where I am now. And then I show that kind of like love and gratitude towards myself. Like, oh, I'm still here. Or I'm still, and that kind of is like the first footstep or was the first footstep for me of like, there are so many other things that I can, you know, it's not accepting what has happened. It's accepting the place that I'm in now, currently. That is not that old past behavior or place or atrocity or whatever. Because when my nervous system is telling my body that same story and recreating that same story of even like resilience, like we've talked about, like then you're still in that cycle of, oh, I need to be resilient. I need to be strong. I need to push through. I need to like have these things going on in my day. And then I can get to the healing aspect of this. And if you can find, I think, little nuggets of how you've been healing in those footsteps all along, I think those are some of the ways that you can like retrain or repattern yourself to be like, oh, here, like this. And what Joy was saying, like, oh, this is a feeling that feels good, or this is how I embody, that feeling, or, like shit. I'm with you, Lucretia. Like I saw a gold necklace, a gold herringbone necklace on an IG, and I was like, I can afford that, right? I can afford that, right? Like, and like, what is freedom? Freedom is living with no fear, right? So like when I think about that, I'm like, okay, well, I do have responsibilities financially, but in terms of like letting go of outcome, in terms of like manifesting money and things like that, like things are coming. I'm okay. Bills are getting paid. I'm doing what I love. And this necklace is, already got a down payment on it.
Hey, I was gonna ask that.
I might be rocking it in NOLA. I don't know.
Yeah,
Necklace already in the
success
bag.
stories, celebrating those success stories. So taking the time out to celebrate, those moments in your day. So if you even start a journal throughout the, at the end of the day, what's successful, what happened, what today can I celebrate? Little moments to big moments. Mm-hmm. Taking moments out to do that, because a lot of times we zoom past that. We zoom mm-hmm. past the success parts of our life.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the books that helped me, I had a client one time in the spa. She was late and I was just like irritated because I was back to back to back. She comes in there and and some people are just sent to you for a reason. So she had the book by Jerry and Esther Hicks, The Vortex. And she's like, I've been reading this book for 3 years. And I was like, the book was only like this big. And she's like, it's not the book you read cover to cover. But in it gave me this one exercise that I often use to like get into that alignment of feeling. It's like, if you have like an icon, like I'm Anthony Bourdain. I love Anthony Bourdain or Oprah. Like I do love Oprah. Everybody has their issues with her, but she has like expanded my wealth of knowledge in such a way. So I use her as like a financial clutch, but they're just talking about like using this as like a form of like running tandem with this emotion. Like we can see it on TV, we can see somebody else living it until you get into your vortex, and then you pull off from that because you've created your own energy. So it's like surrounding yourself with the images of what things do. Like if it's relationship, I read Rummy and like things like that, or very erotic poetry, or like the things that put you in that embodiment. Watch Love Jones, or like those movies that really inspire.
Or anime.
Or anime. Those things that are constantly, and surrounding yourself with the images that do that. A whole playlist. I'm really big on that, with playlists that have like the different variations of things, like what kind of relationship you want to embody. Put some songs on there that inspire you, so when you listen to it, you have this mental note that you can keep programming yourself. I have my
I love that.
Like when I'm ready to make some damn money, or I need to manifest, and like I'm working the that I have, it's like Gucci Man, Megan Thee Stallion, like all those people who like, they're in their hustle brain. Even, I just, and like, nobody traps harder than somebody in the trap. So I'm like, I just get that ashe, and I have like my sexy, whatever. So it's like creating these playlists, and these visual images are the ones that help me the most to break down and get into that alignment of the feeling. And then once I feel it, I can move away and start creating it. Like down here, I'm trying to find, it's, longer housing. I'm just starting the process of getting in the feeling. And though you get anxiety when you start looking at it. So now what I'm doing is walking around the neighborhoods I want to live and being like, I like those lights.
Yeah.
I like the way that this house looks.
That's how you clear your vibration, as you get really clear on what you do want. What you do like,
I'm not focused on the details. Like I have to be in this neighborhood. I'm just
right.
Listen. Oh my God, yes.
As much as the feeling. So I just window shop a lot. I went into the Chanel store, and they let me try on like all these vintage pieces. And we were like, hey girl, hey. And I'll be like, I'll be back for my necklace. And that vintage Givenchy necklace too.
Yeah, like test driving those things, going in, trying them on. I think like that's also like a mental block as well. We think we have to wait to get that thing to even go into the store or to even go into that neighborhood or whatever it is, or even to talk to that company, you know, whatever it is. And that's how you begin that process, is you actually put yourself into that space. You go and test drive that car that's on your vision board. You go and try on that wedding dress if that's part of your vision. You go and, you know, try to pitch that company or talk to somebody within the company to, you know, figure out your marketing plan or whatever it is, your pitch plan. You know, that's how you get into that, that drive and that feeling and that emotion. And the vision boards too. Like that is, I have vision boards on my phone, on Instagram, on my computer, on my walls, everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to do that.
Erica, to go like one step more, because it was one of our last classes yesterday in the doc, there was a case that we were going over, and it was sort of one of these medical anomalies where it was like they've done X, Y, and Z, they've gotten A, B, C, D testing, you know, all the things came back, you know, everything seemed fine. And, you know, because we're practitioners of mind, body, spirit, one of the practitioners in the group chat literally asked the patient that we were seeing through Zoom, how is this pain serving you? And like it just kind of like unfolded from there. And then that patient had like, I know. And then this patient had like an incredible treatment. They were given acupuncture and you know, like sent home some like lifestyle, you know, like recommendations or whatever. And I mean, well, now the term is over, but I'm sure that they're going to go see the master's program students. But like that was just like a major key for that patient. And if you can journal around it, if you can meditate around it, and that's also, Joy, you had mentioned this in our group chat, like we are, you know, we are, right, like observing the world, not absorbing the world. So there's like a lot of trauma that's going on. You know, there's a lot of shit on the news and politics and vaccines, all kinds of stuff, you know, that like people are disagreeing on and bringing a lot of dis-ease into their field because of it. And, you know, when you can just try and step back and observe and not absorb, that's like also one really clear way of even setting energetic boundaries. So like you're not absorbing everybody else's pain and trauma that's adding on to your own that you're trying to figure out. Like, you know, those are some healthy ways that can really add to personal practice, I think.
Yeah, I've had to reel back from scrolling on Instagram, like tuning into certain things. I've like, I'm going through my feeds again and I'm unfollowing because I noticed that it's trickling over into my behaviors, like off Instagram. So since me and my aunt and my grandmother were out to lunch eating, and I like to people watch, you know, and, you know, but I'm observing the dialogue that's in my head. And it was like very negative. It was like, oh, those shoes. Oh, why would she wear that? Da, 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 da. And I was like, whoa, when did that happen? Like, when did I start doing that again? And so I was like, I got on Instagram later on that day and I noticed that's what I was doing, like as I was scrolling. And so I had to pull myself back and say, okay, so to redirect that, I tell myself, all right, every time I feel that, I sense that coming up in me, I'm going to name 5 things that I like about what I'm seeing in that person.
Yeah.
I'm just reprogramming, reconditioning. And that's how we pull ourselves back. So it's the same thing with like, you know, as we get caught up, it can get caught up in the chaos of the world and the things that are happening. You know, I can feel it in my body because it takes my breath away. You know, I tense up, my heart hurts. You know, and I instantly, okay, I'm turn that off, take a deep breath, name 5, affirm 5 things, whatever I have to do to kind of reprogram that. And also just know when it's time to limit the programming period.
I think that was the most powerful question. Sorry, but that, how is the pain serving me, is huge in so many ways because you start to see how pain actually programs people in the space of the why me or why not me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so interesting.
Yeah, yes, I would love to catch up with you more later in the week about it because like that is something that, as soon as that practitioner asked that question, I think the whole Zoom room was like, "Oh," like
Yeah.
she asked it in such a considerate way. And, like that made me think of what, we were talking about in the group chat too, of like somehow taking like the pedestal out from underneath, like healer of itself, because like we are still in this world, like
Yeah.
we're still moving through, and we're not any less affected by
Right.
like the things that are very much uh like not normal or healthy or good, like there's so much stuff
Right.
in the world that it's like, yeah, I think I tried to navigate myself. Mostly I'm a hermit, actually, to tell you the truth. Like I'm very much a hermit. Um, but but I like it because it's where I can ground. It's where, like it's where I can like start my day really fresh, and then like really do those kind of affirmations and vision boarding in my head, so that when good things are coming to me in abundance, I'm not feeling like resentful, and I can actually like receive, like Joy was saying, like there's just like this mode of receptivity that happens when I do that kind of work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, 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 mm.
All right. Y'all want to plug in and talk about some of the things that you have that's going on in your work? Do your plugs and give your medicine for the week.
We should
Uh,
go.
oh my god. The Leo is in town Sunday, the Leo rising. I still have about 3 spaces left in my New Orleans herbal immersion. I've not posted it live because I'm only taking 2 clients. So it's coming to New Orleans for sacred ceremonies, studying herbs, and uh, a cultural immersion as we move through New Orleans and learning about plants and the history of New Orleans. So you can DM me for that. And my medicine for this week, I think it's just opening to endless possibilities and like, taking and there's a lot of like nervous energy right now moving through all these planetary alignments. So like definitely wood betony as solar plexus work, helping move forward without fear and like taking those things that help get rid of that phonetic energy in the head. So helping, with those kind of things and just breathing deep and take things slower and kind of go with the flow this week. That's it.
Yeah.
Erica?
Currently preparing to launch a few new products, just working with
Yeah.
just working with the supply chain has been very interesting, but that's what I'm preparing for. And I actually did my book, so now I know for sure how many clients I can take, but taking 4 new clients for creative agency work. So working with creatives on their websites and branding and helping them establish their businesses or flesh through their creative ideas. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yay.
What's your medicine for the week?
Listening to y'all. Being right here. This is I feel real. I feel like I just got a vaccine because
Yeah, that's right.
But I will definitely be attempting to take another bath. That, remember last time my bathtub was trying to play me.
Yeah.
We'll
Oh,
see how
yeah.
this goes this weekend. And I'm definitely going to take it slow. I'm also going to do some of the work that we just talked about in terms of like feelings. So
Yeah. Feel your feels.
Yeah, man. Feeling the feels.
Feelings.
Joy?
Yay. Oh, which joy?
You.
Both joys. Y'all, let's play Russian roulette. Which joy wants to go first?
Well, oh yes. So this is the last month of the Earthworks Acupuncture GoFundMe. It's the fundraiser for our mobile acupuncture clinic. folks who are watching, if you've liked, donated, and shared, thank you so much. And if not, please do. We're almost a quarter of the way to our goal. The goal is $20,000. $15,000 gets us the bus. It's fully functional, ready to go. The extra 5,000 is for things like chairs, a tent, medical supplies. I need an AED. I need CPR kits, sharps containers, needles, acupuncture needles, so that we can get this thing going here in North Carolina. We need it really badly, especially now. So I really do appreciate having this platform to help spread it, and also just friends. Thank you so much. And medicine for this week. Even though I have a lot of work to do, I mean, I'm really going to try to focus on a little bit more levity in my week, because it has been just like go, punch, go after another. And so I think for the rest of the week, I'm going to relax, and it's about to start in 5 minutes with a beer.
Right. To the beer.
Amen to that.
All right. Well, I guess I'll plug my products first. I have my mugs.
I need that Zora.
Africa. My Zora Neale Hurston mugs. These are all tea mugs. And my Toni Morrison mugs are all on my site for the Ascended Teachers collection.
Yes.
I'm also available for taking new life coaching and spiritual counseling clients and comedic yoga clients. And I also am available for taking clients. Anybody need graphic work for their own branding, for their own products. I'm also taking that, so you can find all the information on my link in the bio. Thank you all for holding the space.
Hey.
Another one down.
So love. I love when we can all be on here together. I love
I
it.
can't wait till y'all get here. We do Tuesday tea and bourbon in New Orleans.
Cannot wait.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so amazing. So amazing. Countdown.
I have a new Haitian restaurant that has vegan options for you.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
I'm so addicted.
I don't know if I've had Haitian food before.
It's so good. This chef is on Chopped. It's a Black-owned business that's here. They even have all the Haitian liquors. I'm addicted to Clarine. I'm going to go drink that with a friend tonight. It's like distilled from sugar cane. They call it like the Haitian moonshine, and you know my family's moonshiners. So
I love it.
I'm there. Come on.
Everybody have passion fruit, everything. So, and these fritters that are so amazing. That's like shaved, like yam and like, pickle-y sauce, but they have like all these tofu's and stuff like that. It's so good. I went twice and it was so good.
Krisha, I got a question for you. Did you sign up for Dr. Coco's class?
You know I did.
Me too. I see you there. I'll see you there.
I forgot to register for it.
Better do it. It's on the 10th, yeah?
Yeah.
It's like day before the eclipse, or it's on the eclipse. Day.
It's on the eclipse. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotta sign up for
We're
that.
talking about Dr. Coco's.
She is amazing, yo.
Yes.
Our drinks, Elder Gold. She's doing an online workshop. You can just Google it. It's about ancestor veneration and writing, using the ancestor energy to write, which I'm excited about that part.
Wow. Sounds
like
beautiful.
That. So it's the 10th, Dr. Coco. Do not miss it. Just Google her. She was on In My Mother's Garden. If some of you have not seen that, it's very
beautiful,
Doc. Amazing. It's amazing.
It's so beautiful. Check that out. Yes, honey, I'll be in Dr. Coco's class.
So,
have a great week. Thank you all.
Yes. Thank you. If you all have missed any of this, you all can check it out on the IGTV, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Links in the bio. We'll see y'all next week with Tea and Bourbon.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.